Yeah. Really, seriously. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your career and of course about Christmas, Bloody Christmas. So um, first of all, are you a horror fan?
Yes. I it's funny because in preparation for this movie,
Mhm,
the director Joe gave me so many old school horror movies to watch. I had only
mhm,
seen horror movies that are maybe past like 2002 and onwards. I hadn't seen any old ones.
right.
Um, old ones. Uh, so, so I'm like I'm
Classic.
super
Yeah.
but yeah, so I've always loved horror, but I've just never seen any of the classics. So I watched a ton of them in preparation for this, and I'm obsessed with them.
No. Oh, cool. So do you have any particular favorites that you'd like to feature that he gave you specifically for the film?
Yeah, I think I don't know if this is a silly choice, but one that I've actually rewatched is Child's Play.
Mhm.
I think it's such a good time. I think it's so much fun. And like I had never seen Alien, which seems insane to me. Uh I like now I don't know how I was missing out on such great movies
You
before.
know what? We all have our blind spots, and I'm not one of those people to like gatekeep
I know.
and go, "Oh my God, you didn't watch that." I have never seen Back to the Future. And people would, if I actually told people that, they would probably be like, "Oh my God, you're not a movie fan." But
Yeah.
but that's the thing is like sometimes you just there's your family doesn't want to watch it or you
Yeah.
don't get around to it. It
Exactly.
happens,
Like
for everyone.
I feel like I used to watch so many more horror films, but my fiance hates horror movies. So I don't really get to watch them anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Well, here's the thing. Child's Play, that's actually a great film for like a film template for Christmas Bloody Christmas. So I'm going to ask, how did you become involved with the film?
So it was a normal audition process. Got the script, read it, and was like, this is unlike anything I've ever heard of. Why initially was like, well, yeah, I'll obviously audition for this. And I loved the character right away. I think Tori's just like such a cool chick. And, um, she's like very passionate about everything in her life.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I got the call back, and then Joe, the director, and I, um, we had a little Zoom session and really got to like workshop the scenes. And I immediately like saw his vision and how passionate he was about it. Um, and then I found out that I he was interested, so we went and got coffee and chatted about music and film and the idea. And yeah, and then I found out that I got it, and next thing I knew, I was spending 2 months of overnight shoots in Placerville.
I was about to say, it looks like nearly, or probably all the shoot days were probably
Every
night
single
shoots, right?
Yep. We'd get there at
Wow.
6:30 p.m. and end at like 8 in the morning. And I'd come back to my hotel room covered in blood. And my fiance would be waking up as I was getting home. And I would try to have a full conversation with him about how work went. And he's like, can you please go wash the blood off? Can you just go take a shower first and then we can talk? It's like first thing in the morning for him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is that when you work in horror, you end up covered in blood so much of the
Love
time,
it.
and
Yeah.
it just becomes normal to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're standing around, walking around in real life, and you're covered in blood, and everybody else is like, "Oh my
I have
God."
this I have this video from lunch one of the days, and I'm just videotaping myself just eating tacos, and I'm covered in blood.
Oh my God.
So funny because I remember watching the video and like forgetting that I had that blood on me.
Hmm.
And I was just like, yeah, it's just so funny. I love it.
Wow. So, how you relate to the character, was the way in for you as an actor like passion?
Yeah, I think so. Cause Tori's kind of like everything I wish I was as far as like, like extensive pop culture knowledge and music and stuff like that. And we are quite different in so many ways. But at the end of the day, I think like everything that she does stems from passion. or a love for something, which I
Mm-hmm.
guess is passion. And like, she runs this business that she's really passionate about and has done it very well. And she's, she cares about her circle may be very small, but she cares about them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's a bit of a lone wolf. And I think that that's kind of what drew me to her. And I think, yeah, I think the way that she cares about things that she's involved in is my way into her. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it like? I mean, obviously there's quite a lot of physicality to the role.
Mhm.
Did you have to do any training, or were you just like fighting the best as best you could?
So,
Was there
so
fight choreography? How did that work?
so we had a stunt crew, obviously, but Joe, our director, I think, and Josh, our producer, they really like kind of choreographed a lot of it because they had such a specific view on what they wanted.
Hmm.
And I also am really thankful that I didn't have too much training beforehand, because Tori wouldn't have known how to fight. Like,
Exactly.
she's a stoner drinking whiskey at a record store. Like, there's no chance she'd know how to throw down when Santa Claus comes.
Yeah,
She's
like
very
she's a
expensive.
secret agent or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Unless Joe has something he's not telling me. But yeah, I think her like not really knowing what she's doing and just like kind of like being scrappy and figuring it out is one of her
Hmm.
strong suits. I think she's a scrappy bitch. And yeah, I love that about her.
Yeah, I love that you really recognize that, because that's one of my favorite parts of Tori as a character, is that she's just like, she's not taking it. And
Yeah.
if you give her any guff, she's going to fight you,
Yes.
verbally or however, but, and she's going to do the best that she can, but she's pretty good anyway,
Yeah,
because
I think
I
so
think
too.
because she has that really strong beliefs in herself.
Yeah.
So, um, did you have a lot of fun with the fights, or what was the most fun part of the film and the role for you?
So many things. I like all of the stuff with Sam Delich, who plays Robbie. Um,
Hmm.
all of that stuff, like I've done a lot of, like rom-coms in the past. So that kind of like bonding stuff comes easy to me, and it's a really safe place for me.
Hmm.
And Sam and I got so close during filming that like I adored filming with him. But I really, really loved the action days. Like there was this one day when I got to drive an ambulance and like swerve it all over the street. And then I got to drive this like windshieldless cop car so fast down this mountain road. Um, so any of the action stuff, I had so much fun because I didn't know that that was inside of me, that I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
And then I got to set and I was like, what else can I do? I was like begging the stunt coordinators to let me do things.
Please
Um,
let me do more.
yeah, and all of the dangerous stuff my incredible stunt double did, but I was doing as much as I possibly could because I just wanted to learn. It was so fun.
Yeah. Oh, and can I ask who your stunt double is so we give her credit?
Yes, her name is Natalie. I will have to find out her last name. I don't remember her
Great.
last name, but
Great.
yeah, she was incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it was really evident, like and I say the chemistry between your two characters was really evident and really there. And you kind of had like, speaking of classic movies, like a banter going that was kind of like reminiscent of like the old school, like, I don't want to say, maybe Rosalind Russell,
Oh,
and Cary
interesting.
Grant in the front page, because
Yeah,
it was so rapid fire back and forth. And
love that.
and even though you guys were like, obviously like cursing at each other and on the opposite sides, you could tell there was still a friendliness. So
Yes.
um how did you guys work on, obviously you really enjoyed working together.
Yeah.
How did you guys do anything to like build that chemistry, or was it just immediate?
Yeah, so I've been saying as well, I think a big part of why I felt so comfortable with him was he's Australian and my
Hmm.
fiance is Australian. So I think innately I just felt very comfortable with him.
Hmm.
And we had night shoots, and so we had to keep that schedule on our weekends. So Sam and I would stay up until like 4 or 5 in the morning just talking and like,
Yeah.
having drinks and playing games or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think that really lent itself to Tori and Robbie's relationship, because like we got along like a house on fire immediately. And so yeah, I just think I'm happy that that comes through, because I felt like we had worked together for ages, which, in the movie is what their character relationship is.
Yeah, it worked fantastically well. And like I said, the rapid fire banter, maybe it's your background in rom-coms that really kind of prepped you for that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm like forever grateful to rom-coms for setting me up for that, because I think you're right. And again, it's coming back to the passion thing. Even when they're arguing, they're both passionate about their views and like so passionate about each other. And I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think you have like a meet cute moment like most rom-coms do, but it's kind of like meet throughout the whole thing. It's a lovely chemistry, and I think it really kind of grounds the whole like animatronic Santa goes on a killing
Yeah,
rampage thing.
totally.
Because you can totally believe that they're two real human beings who could fall for each other like that. So yeah, I think it's I honestly think it's a really adorable part of the film. So
Thank you. That's nice. Yeah.
big thumbs up.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, and I mean, horror movies aren't just like someone walking around like stabbing people like every 30 seconds. Otherwise, they would be really boring.
Well, you have to
need
care about
that.
your characters as well.
Yeah, that's a really big point, because if you don't care about the characters,
Yeah, you're like, then die.
yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dave, they're dead. Woohoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I was wondering, do you have any projects coming up in the near future that you'd like to talk about?
I have one coming up that I will be starting to film in the start of the year. So I cannot say anything about that yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I think next year will be fun, because I think there's a couple of projects that are not Christmas related that are coming up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to delve into a world that's maybe not red and green and covered in Christmas lights. We'll see.
And Christmas blood. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did your my family for Christmas, my family was really weird. They would always rent horror movies. Did your family ever like rent movies together like that?
What's funny is I think back to it, and our family never really like watched movies together. My mom and I watched a ton of movies together. As a family, we never did. As a family, we would kind of just like, everyone always has a drink in their hand and we're just like talking and playing games.
Mhm.
Like when I think about Christmas, the first thing that comes to mind is like a dirty martini. So I don't know if that's weird or not. But like,
no.
yeah, I know that when Christmas is coming, I'm going to be drinking dirty martinis. So that always.
It's a Christmas beverage. I think
Exactly.
shall we say Christmas beverages are pretty traditional as well. Usually it's eggnog, but hey, dirty martinis work too.
I know, I'm like olives. Give me all of the olives. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. And best of luck. I saw it at the film at Beyond Fest. So I had a great time. The whole audience was losing their minds.
I've been comparing that to everything, because I'm like, I've never experienced a crowd like the crowd that was at Beyond Fest. It was so cool.
It was wild. Yeah.
Thank you for being there. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I love Beyond Fest. I love genre pictures. So, I was all over. I'm like, okay, you cannot keep me. I'm in the front of this. I'm in the front row.
Good,
So,
good.